Alright, I have another game here, and my opponent opens with knight, and I open with the queen's pawn on d5. He replies with knight attacking my d pawn, but then I of course respond by protecting my pawn. He then pushes his pawn up. Then of course I have to threaten to take it. Then he gets his bishop out, of course. Just simple, basic opening book stuff. I get my bishop out. He pushes his pawn, opening up his light square bishop. Oh, sorry. I push my pawn, opening up my dark square bishop. Now here it gets a bit interesting because he gets his light square bishop out, attacking my light square bishop, which is of course being protected by my pawn. So like, I need to get my dark square bishop out, which is quite literally what I do. On b4, attacking, well, pinning the knight to the king. Now he tries to kick away my bishop. I simply take, he takes, and I push my bishop back. The reason why is because I don't want to make that center really like open this early. And because let's say his bishop does take my g6 bishop, my light square bishop is the only one obviously, I can take my rook pawn, which then gives me an open rook. So he actually doesn't take the bishop, he's hesitant. He tries to attack my hanging pawn, push it up, getting 2 pawns to defend it. Then he pushes his pawn down here. I never really like taking this pawn because let's say I take, and then he can just take his bishop, and now his bishop has more sight of the center, and he's playing more aggressive, if you get what I'm trying to say. So I actually don't even take it, and I castle, just defending, and now he takes the pawn, and I had the choice here. If I wanted to take the pawn with my pawn, or with my queen. And I mean, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to take it with my queen, so I can just take a lot more center. And I do that, and now he tries to attack my queen, pushing his pawn, sorry, and then I counter by checking his king, trying to win this pawn here, which he tries to offer a queen trade, but I see a hanging pawn and I take it. Now, look here, I have a queen and a bishop on this. Now, he takes my hanging pawn, and then I take his bishop, sacrificing, quote unquote, the pawn for the bishop. Now, this could have ended kind of bad, because if he moved his rook here, then I could have just countered with bishop, with knight here. So, never mind, that would have been too bad. He responds with putting his rook underneath his, on top of his queen. I don't know why. Probably just because my bishop was attacking the rook and he just wanted to bring it to safety. There probably was a better move there. I take the free pawn, and now he tries to attack my bishop. Now, the thing of what I like about this move here is that, let's say I trade the knight, because he's essentially forking me. He's forking the hanging knight, and he's forking the hanging bishop. But, let's say I take this right here. If I take the knight, then what happens is his pawn takes. And now his queen is just eating up the center, the d file specifically, which is of course something I do not want. So I respond by attacking his queen, because his knight can't take any of these pieces now. Because let's say he takes the knight, I'll just take his queen. That's simply how it is. So he responds with queen to c2. Now, I'm assuming that was just so he can still put pressure on this bishop, because now he has 2 attackers on it, and he can get his queen to safety. So I take his knight, then he takes back with his pawn. Then I respond to queen check b4, trying to save my bishop in a way, because the reason why I do this is because my queen checks the king, and I protect the bishop at the exact same time, which is of course really good. He responds by blocking the check with his rook. Don't know if that was the best move, but I think it might have been the best move. But I respond by attacking his bishop, playing a bit more aggro. He attacks my rook, I attack his bishop. Now, this is where I messed up. I didn't think, because yes, he's forking my rook and queen, but I could have just taken his bishop. I could have just took his bishop, which is a blunder by my part, because I hung my queen. I don't know why I thought this was a good move, but I did it either way like an idiot, and then I lose my queen. I don't know why I've been just blundering my queen. Like, I've just been blundering my queen recently. Like, my last 3-4 games I've been blundering my queen, but somehow I win this. And the reason that I win this is the reason why you lot should not resign if you blunder a piece, unless it's against like a 2000 rated player, which is obviously going to win. So I respond with knight takes rook. Cool. Now his bishop's on it, and then he can just take back. Now this is tricky now to win. I move my rook up because I want to essentially double stack my rooks. He essentially moves his bishop, threatening, some possible checkmates in the future. I push my pawn up, protecting the bishop, so then I can eventually move my rook to here, to d7, and double stack my rooks. He responds to queen to e4, probably just to trying to rummage his way into this area where my king is. I double stack my rooks, and he hangs his rook because after he moves the pawn down, trying to probably attack my e pawn here, what happens is I check, he moves, I win the rook. He responds by attacking my e pawn. Now I decide to check him here, pushing his king down to this square, forcing it. And now my rook is on this pawn, which is really, really good, meaning I can take that. Because if queen takes, I'll take. If that happens, this happens, right? So he can't do that. So he responds with moving his queen to h4. Don't know why. Oh, sorry. Because you're attacking my rook, simply. Now, of course, I had a really good rook move here, where I moved my rook to d3 and I pinned the pawn. He responds by protecting his queen. Sorry, protecting his pawn. Now, what I like about this move is that, let's say he did queen, let's say he did something like, what can he do here? Like this. Let's just say he did this move, right? What I like about this move is that my rook here is blocking here. My pawn is blocking here. His queen is blocking this square. All I need to do, take, and it would be checkmate. But of course, my opponent sees this and he protects his pawn with his queen. Now I try to kick away the queen, and now he moves his queen here to e7, which possibly trying to check. Let's say I did this move here. He would have checked. I would have moved up. Then he might have done something, but I don't know. So he does this, right? Now I respond by simply taking the pawn that was pinned. He moves down. Now I am cornering the king, and I need to somehow checkmate him. And this pawn right here becomes very, very vital because I first check the king, forcing him to go down to this square. Nowhere to move. He has to go there. And then he of course moves down. I move my king up, allowing protection for my g pawn to check him. And then he pushes his pawn down, possibly trying to take this pawn or to promote it. But he blunders because I do pawn to g6, checkmate. And I don't know about you, I really like pawn checkmates. But before I end the video there, I want to quickly go through something. Now, okay, I move my king up here. I don't know why he could have just taken this, which is very odd. He got greedy and oh no, never mind. So I'm trying to think, what is the way for him to prevent it? There's a fork here, but then checkmate. Is it a false checkmate? No way. I'm trying to think of a way that his king could have been saved here. And I can't lie, I can't think of anything. Here? Yeah, yeah. Pawn to g4 because that blocks. Wait, am I missing something? Yeah, that blocks my rook. So if I did this, he can move here. But then what would have done? I could have checked it. Oh, no, but he can go down. What would I probably would have done. I probably would have done this. Oh, that's checkmate. Okay, it might have been fool's checkmate. If it was, hey, that's a good win by me. Lesson: don't blunder first of all. But if you do blunder, don't resign. So yeah, that's it for the video. See ya.